Here is a puzzle that should not make sense. There is a country in Europe that is a good bit cheaper than its famous neighbor, just as beautiful, sitting right next door, and yet it gets around 10 times fewer tourists. 10 times. That country is Bosnia and Herzegovina, and the famous neighbor is Croatia. So what does Croatia have that Bosnia does not? And here is the better question for you and me. Is Bosnia actually a hidden budget gold mine that the crowds are completely missing? So first, let's prove it with real numbers. In a recent year, Croatia pulled in around 20 million tourist arrivals in its paid accommodation. Bosnia, right next door, pulled in around 2 million. My math is good enough to tell me that it is a tenfold gap, and I could hardly believe it when I saw the numbers. Now the money part, and let me be straight with you here, because a lot of channels lie about this. You will hear people say Bosnia is half the price of Croatia. That is not true, and I would rather give you the real number. According to the European price level data, where the EU average equals 100, overall household consumption had an index of 59.2 in Bosnia and 78.4 in Croatia. Do the math, and Bosnia comes out roughly 24% cheaper than Croatia. Not half, but about a quarter cheaper on most of the things. And when you are traveling for weeks, a quarter off adds up to serious money. But how does Bosnia actually feel like on the ground? Let me paint you a normal day. You wake up in a clean, well-reviewed guest house in the old town that cost you a fraction of what a similar spot charges across the border. You walk out and grab a plate of cevapi, which are grilled meat sausages that come with warm bread and onions, for just a few dollars. Then a legendary Bosnian coffee, served the slow traditional way that costs almost nothing. A bus to the next town over is a few dollars. And if you want to stretch it even further, a bed in a friendly hostel costs next to nothing, and the local markets are packed with cheap fresh food. I would not promise that everything costs next to nothing, but accommodation and restaurant prices are where the official data show Bosnia's clearest advantage over Croatia. That is my budget calculation on it. And the country itself is stunning. And this is the part people never see coming. Mostar, with its famous old stone bridge arching over a bright turquoise river where local divers leap off into the water below. Sarajevo, a capital where East and West meet on the same street, mosques and churches and markets all blending together, plus some of the most moving recent history in Europe. Blagaj, where a centuries-old house sits right at the foot of a cliff next to a crystal spring. You also have Kravica Waterfall, the waterfall in the center of Jajce and the Una River region near Bihać. Old stone villages, mountains in every direction. On looks alone, Bosnia goes toe-to-toe with anywhere, and you will have most of it almost to yourself. And here is another thing that makes it easy on your wallet and your plan. Bosnia sits so close to Croatia that you do not even have to choose. You could build a route connecting places such as Dubrovnik, Split, Mostar, and Sarajevo, instead of treating the countries as an either-or decision. And a lot of smart travelers do exactly this. So if it is this cheap, this beautiful, and this easy to reach, why does Croatia grab 10 times the visitors? Here is the honest breakdown. The first reason is simple: the coast. Croatia has that massive, world-famous Adriatic coastline, hundreds of islands, that impossibly blue water, Dubrovnik, Split, and sailing trips for days. But Bosnia is almost completely landlocked. It has only a tiny sliver of coast, around 20 kilometers, and no such beach scene like Croatia has. And let's be honest, beaches are what pull the giant summer crowds. Croatia sells sun and sea, and that is the number one thing most tourists are shopping for. The second reason is the reputation, and this one is genuinely a shame. A lot of people still connect Bosnia in their heads to the war from the 1990s, even though that ended a long time ago, and the country today is much safer and welcoming to travelers. That old image lingers in people's minds, and it quietly scares off visitors who never bother to look at what Bosnia actually is right now. Their loss, honestly. The third reason is exposure. Croatia got the Hollywood treatment, huge TV shows filmed there, cruise ships stopping daily, airlines flying in from everywhere, marketing money all over the place. Bosnia just never got that same spotlight. Fewer direct flights, fewer big tour companies pushing it, less buzz. And there is a fourth, quieter reason: Croatia is an EU, Euro area, and Schengen member. So many European travelers can use the same currency and travel there from another Schengen country without routine internal border checks. That familiarity, together with Croatia's large tourism industry, can make the trip feel more straightforward. But Bosnia is not an EU or Schengen member and uses the convertible mark rather than the euro. However, the mark is fixed to the euro, so the currency conversion is more predictable than it may first appear. So for some travelers, Bosnia's less standardized tourism setup may feel less convenient. For others, locally run accommodation, smaller-scale tourism, and fewer package experiences are exactly what make the country appealing. Let me know what you prefer. But this is exactly where the whole thing flips in your favor. Because usually, less fame means prices haven't been pushed up as much by tourism yet. That little raw edge means your money stretches further, and the experience feels real instead of packaged. Think about what that lower overall price level could save you over a real trip. Your exact savings will depend on the cities, season, accommodation, transport, and activities you choose. But spending less across several categories could help pay for extra nights or another trip later in the year. Same beauty, same region, and you pocket the difference if you are willing to look one country over. So overall, Croatia is absolutely an incredible place to visit. But just remember that there is a country right next door, quietly waiting for the travelers to cross the border. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, join the Ultimate Budget Squad, and become part of a community looking for smarter ways to live well without spending a fortune. Flex hard, spend smart.